We had a chatter ask, how can alphas make ISK from doing indie? We're going to explain that here, but I also go off on a bit of a tangent about how you can play EVE and the systems you can use to be able to protect your account and never ever lose everything. So if you want the best EVE guides, you came to the right place. This is part of my alt training guide, okay? So my alts are stuck in this system. These two are the only alts I have there. I actually moved out of the system a while ago with, I have 30 something alts that we just show up. And what this does, check this out. We have all of these BPCs in here, okay? I craft these around here, and I have fully researched BPCs that I craft at the various NPC stations, Ensign player-owned stations too, here. And I check it out, and I make this every single month. If I really need some money, I will dive back into indie, and I will go do this. So can I run 200 of this? No, I need some more super tensiles. Yeah, I've been crappy on the PI. This will make me 24-ish million ISK, because here's the thing. With all of these, I make these myself. I make the nanites, I make the tensiles, I make these myself. So when I tell you, I take something that is worth, you can look at the inputs here. The total estimated price of the inputs is 16.5 million ISK, right? But the output is estimated at 24 million ISK. So I make about 10 million ISK if I buy them, first of all. But second of all, I make all these. So it's literally pure profit. It's just time investment. And I can run 10 jobs on this character. And this finishes in a day in whatever. What is it? A day in 10 hours. So let's call it 2 days. So every 2 days, I can make 250 million ISK, because that's this times 10, right? But the kicker is, this is one character. So if I have this coming in on bigger stuff, I'm not muted. What the heck are you guys talking about? Maybe panic there, Derek. I was like, I'm not muted. So this is times 10, and this is times characters. I have 30 indie characters trained. So if I want money, if you're wondering how I make all of the ISK for our 1 trillion ISK giveaway, you're looking at one of the pieces of this, okay? This is part of it. And this is not the indie guide itself, but we talk about how to do this in the alt training guide that we have up on how to train your alts up to do stuff. By the way, if you want to know what happened to all the BPOs from Operation BPO, you're looking at it, dude. Okay, I've been maximum training a ton of BPOs. What's funny, Derek, is you responded to me saying, I'm here. You say, I hear nothing. You clearly do. Come on, man. What are you doing? So like all these ships we've maximum trained, we've started up with this. Yeah, these were the big ones. Maximum training, the life support units, the core. This is a 750 million ISK blueprint that's maxed out. So this is going to be a 2+ billion ISK item. Single thing. So trillion ISK giveaway coming up. So trillion ISK giveaway coming up on the 30th. So, and all of this is done from my own owned corp, and I farm LSIs on this character. We got some master at arms we've been buying. You know, I get some mining on these guys. All of this is done on an alt. So I can go on an op on my main and not worry about any of the industry stuff. You guys are trolling me, dude. You can't hear me. I'm looking at my mic audio. Try unmuting your tab. What the heck you guys talking about, dude? It's great. All right, y'all. So that was a quick little, I didn't expect to talk about that today, but that was a quick little, quick and dirty guide. Let me make sure that I put that in my notes. Chat, today we are going to be talking about some things. And Soapy, here's the best part about industry. It doesn't have to be your main thing. It can be something you have on the back burner and that you just do like once a month, because it's not necessarily fun to like haul a bunch of items to a spot and build it into other things. Some people, like, they love it. That's all they do. We have an entire industry focused thing for my corporation, for my alliance, excuse me. There's an entire indie wing. So that's, we were featuring them on our other stream. That was there. That's frame perfect. So, you know, For Alpha Bros, DPCs, BPOs would be the best to aim for when it comes to sell ability and ISK making. No, Arrow. Great question. You're an alpha. If you're trying to do indie as an alpha, you're going to be severely limited. What I do recommend you can do as an alpha is make ammo and combine it with faction warfare. Let me explain. Okay. Let me explain. So something I do is I will make ammo. Okay. So here's antimatter charge Ls. Okay. Let's go into the market. I will find, we've talked about this before, but I think we got some new viewers in chat. So the blueprint original to make antimatter charges is only 1 million ISK. and it's in this station. So you get 1,000,000 ISK. You can research this to get it cheaper. You can get it up. And then what you do is you farm up these materials.
Mitsubishi materials.
You farm these up, and then you make a crap ton of ammo. But that's not enough, because these are only 318 ISK per unit. What you can do with these antimatter charges is you can turn them in to faction ammo, Caldari Navy antimatter charges. Check this out. These are 1,160 for one. So you go from 318 per one to almost 1.2K per one. Do you understand it? You quadruple the value by doing this. So if you're an alpha and you want to make some indie ISK, this is what I recommend you do. How do you get Navy ammo? You have to get loyalty points from doing faction warfare. It's one of the only currencies. Hey, my Abyssal Soul, or my Master Soul, sick, it's great. So I'm waiting for those sell chat, sheesh. So I got to fund the subathon coming up. So when you do faction warfare, you're going to get loyalty points, and you can spend these loyalty points at the closest loyalty point store. So I have 200,000 stuff. Let's go. Let's do this now. Let's do this now. Okay. Can I fit all of that? I'm literally going to go do this to show people. This is a good point. This is not going to be a guide. You just get the value live, y'all. You just get the value live. How much is this? This is 1,000. So here, I'll do you one better. Okay, we're gonna put this into my Vider. This is only 1,000. Give me. I'm just gonna buy some because I'll still make money on this. So give me 1,200. Give me this 2,500, and give me. Is that enough? Let's just do that. Let's do that. It's 40,000 of this. 3,000 of it only. Oh sheesh, we're gonna be able to do this a ton. Give me a big one. Yeah, here's 100. This is 170,000. Give me another. Give me 100,000 of this. Be 100. This is 32 million ISK, okay, that we just spent on ammo, on antimatter ammo, okay. So we've got 100, and we got over 100,000 ammo. Let's round this out. Let's round this out. 143.70. So let's get 6,300 of this. Let's get. Let me just do this really quick. Let's get 6,300 just to make it an even 150, just to make it easy enough on everything that we've got going on here. Okay, come on. Eve, do it. Let's do it. Yeah, you need 5K stacks. You are correct about that. You are totally correct. All right, so we got easy 150K. We have our destination set. We're in our hauler. We're in my blockade runner. Let's go do this live so y'all can see how this goes. So in this example, you would go and buy a ammo blueprint, and I recommend ammo you use, by the way. I recommend it's ammo that you actually do stuff with, right? And then, I'm getting bumped a little bit, or we're kind of maneuver. Oh, we are lagging, chat. We're in Jitter 4.4. The typical EVE Online experience. Can y'all still see me? I think you can. Okay, so it's just EVE that's breaking. I lagged so hard, I already warped. I'm at the gate. I lagged so hard, I'm at the gate. Imagine, chat. That is the EVE experience right there. All good. Yes. Whew, craziness. So you've gotten the BPO or Caldari large ammo. Okay. You've gone in your venture, you've mined up the mats, you've crafted 150,000 of this ammo. You've kept some for yourself, so you can use it. I like to keep like 20K, 30K ammo around, just to be sure, fine, sure. Then you can take your stuff in your hauler, assuming you have loyalty points, because you've been doing faction warfare, you've been doing those kinds of things. We have guides on faction warfare as well, check them out. Then you go to the loyalty point store. In your wallet, under LP Corporations, it says closest loyalty point store. That's how you find where to go. I don't recommend doing that and going into low sec. There are loyalty point stores that are in high sec. You don't want to go to low sec. And this is something I do maybe once a quarter now. I was doing this stuff regularly, where I was doing a ton of indie, and it helped me make my first fortune, because in EVE, what ends up happening is you kind of break through an income ceiling, and then you don't need to do all the little stuff again. So tons of Velators and a carrot cow right here. Yeah, just people coming in here to get them loyalty point stuff. LP is also given for mission running. Very good point, Alrisen. Very, very good point. If you're just doing level 4s or something, then you can get LP as well. So, all right, let's see what we got here. There's only one left in the game. Wow, for the rare Rorqual. And the last one sold for 2 trillion ISK, and it's probably gone up a lot since then. Yeah, I definitely agree. Espeon, that's pretty cool lore. Thank you for that. So, all All right, you're in here. We've got our stuff. You go to the loyalty point store. And what we're going to do is we're just going to type, and you can buy a ton of stuff here. There's a lot of Navy things you can buy here. And one of the best things you can buy with loyalty points is +5 implants. So it costs you 65 million ISK and 65,000 LP. But you can turn around and sell them for 1 million ISK. So you basically make a net of 40 million ISK just off of these, just freaking doing it. So there's a lot of people talking about what is the best thing to do to convert your LP to ISK. That's fair, but I'm not talking about best. I'm talking about possible, because not everybody can do best, especially alphas. So then what you do is you type purchase. And look, I don't know how much this is, but let's just do, can I do like 100? And I can do 30 of it. So then I press purchase. Now that cost me 72 million ISK and 72,000 LP, because you can see it costs LP and ISK to do that transfer. But now we have 171 million ISK worth of Navy ammo. So what does this mean? Let me like break down the math for you. I farmed up, what was it, 40K of this? And then it looks like I spent, this is 28 million, 30 million, 34 million. Let's call this 36 million ISK. And then I also spent another 72 million ISK. So let's call it 105, 110 million ISK in spend. But I can sell this for 170 million ISK. So I made 70 million ISK. Okay, now we have to get back to Jeddah. You know, we have to actually get back to the place. But you see what I'm saying? You can take the items you were already getting and then make money off it. Now, your margins are going to be better if you farm up the items yourself and create them yourself. I bought a decent chunk of this ammo and didn't farm it up myself. So we made 70 million. All right, and that's a good point, Gonlink. It's not just about what the best conversion is. It's also about what is guaranteed to sell, and that's what Gonlink is saying. It's a more liquid market, okay? The ammo market is going to be selling constantly going back and forth. You're going to be able to get some good prices for it consistently. So, right, that's true, Gonlink. Those implants might be worth a ton, but people plug them and then keep it going. So, yeah. So this is one of the ways that you can make some ISK. If you're an alpha, if you are starting out, you can get started. You don't have to go buy 100,000 ammo to do this, because when you're just starting out, Eve is really great, because when you're just starting out, you have this this much income. Okay, let's say this is like a staircase. You have this much income and you can kind of operate inside this box. But at some point you get enough income and you get lucky enough and you play enough that you can kind of break into the next income box and you can afford bigger, badder things. Now you can still do the stuff in this box and you have access to a bigger box. So what I would make this analogy is when you first start out, you really can't do very much in terms of ships. You can only really have access to frigates and cruisers. This is your like venture. This is your like Tech Zero Eve. Yeah, you don't really have a BIS setup, whatever the heck. Then you break into the next income box. You have PI set up. Okay, this is your Tech 1 Eve income box. This is your PI. This is you have Abyss ships ready to go, right? You have some indie. Okay, you don't have to have a ton. You just have some indie. This T0 is like, this is like you have a venture and nothing else. That's literally it. You just have a venture and you're like, I'm going to go mine something. You literally don't have anything else. Okay. The next tier up is probably, let me make sure that I warp to my Instadoc here. The next income tier up, and this is where stuff gets really, really big. Okay. This is where stuff starts getting real big. This is your like Tech 2 Eve loot. This is going to be, you have a lot of PI. You got PI plus. You've got PI to like rank 5. You've got a T4 Abyss ready to go. You have a level 4 mission runner. Okay, you've got a level 4 mission runner ready to go. And you can mine whatever the heck. You can mine in, let's say this is like a Mackinac. Okay, you have like Mackinac. You have like Tech 2/Tech 2 stuff. So you can start seeing how this looks, where it's like you have a venture. You have like meh frigates, we're just going to call them, like meh ships. You start with basically nothing. And then you move up the chain to be able to have a little bit more income. And then you move up the chain to have a little bit more income. That's how I've been able to get everything that you see here. Is a slow burn. Now my net worth is almost a trillion ISK. I'm giving all of this away, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this, and then all of a sudden you are poor again. So let me sell this stuff, and then we're gonna talk about that trillion ISK because y'all need to see what's coming. Okay, so you got it, Arrow. No, I think it's a really good tangent, Arrow. It's a really good thing to showcase. So the last thing we're gonna look at, y'all, is how to sell this stuff. So I'm just gonna put it up. I like putting my stuff right under what this guy at the top does. You know. It says I'm going to make about 165 million ISK. So when this goes, I'll make about a 65-ish million ISK profit. 60 million, 65 million ISK profit. Cool. Now, the people are talking about in Eve, you can lose everything. You're not thinking about this correct. Okay. You're not playing Eve correctly if one ship loss can lose everything. All right. So let me get out the old pen tool again. Okay. So what I like to say using that same analogy is, let's say here you have the T0 Eve loot where you have your ventures, you have your whatever, and then you kind of increase your stuff. So now you have T1 Eve loot. Then let's say you go up to Tech 2 Eve loot. Now, I'm not just talking about Tech 2 ships. I'm doing this like as a relative term to talk about how much ISK and how many options you have in Eve. And then Tech 3 is like over here. You can't even see the top because it just keeps going. It's just that large. Okay, so you have Tech 3. Now, let's talk about this. When you have this kind of loot, let's say you just entered Tech 1 loot. You're not going to sell all of your Tech 0 loot. You're not going to sell it. You're going to keep it. You're going to keep your Tech 0 loot. So you're going to keep your ventures and your Tech 1 Heron probe stuff. If you buy a Buzzard, the Tech 2 scanner, you're going to keep your fully fit Heron just in case you die. Because then you still have the Heron. Then what you're going to do when you get to Tech 2 loot is you're going to keep, you have a base Buzzard. You're going to keep the Tech 1 loot stuff. You're going to keep your base fit Buzzard so that if your blinged Buzzard dies, you still have your Tech 1 setup ready to go. What this looks like, and I can show you this practically. Do I have my dummy here? I think I pushed that somewhere else. What this looks like practically, and let me just get rid of all of this stuff on the screen, is I have here my I have a Abyss Runner that is my worm. I also have the Abyss Runner that are my breachers, and I have some of these ready to go for if I can give stuff away. I have my Prospect for travel fits. I have our Fryer fits, and what I actually play with in our stuff is you're going to see I have a Kronos here that I go do a mission running and go do PvP in. But if the Kronos dies, I have Navy Dommies and Megathron Navies staged in various places. That way, even if my stuff dies, we're good to go. I like to call this the N-1 gameplay theory. And let's actually call it S-1 for survival. This is your survive -1 theorem. And it's, if you're playing a survival game, if your main tech tier you're on is here, you're going to also keep the tech tier below this to make sure that even if this dies, even if you lose this, you still have this. This is how you need to be playing Eve. We're going to call it the S-1 theorem. Okay, so that's what I would do there. When you're playing other MMOs, when you're playing World of Warcraft, you don't really have to think about this because you can't lose everything, right? And let me tell you what I have right now. In a system that you'll never see, on an account that you'll never know about, I have capital ships, I have battleships, Chronoses, haulers, miners, Bushers, porpoises, orcas. I have about 50 billion just sitting in a station. That's in case I lose all of this, I'm still Gucci. I can still do the activities that I want to use. I can still do the things. So that's just over there, so should this be its own video, Derek? Because our chatter says it should be its own video, I'm going to make this its own video. Editor, I guess we're going to keep this in. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want kind of more impromptu stuff like this, keep on subbing to the best YouTube channel for Eve Guides. Thanks very much. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks very, very much.